Hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Reese, and I'm with Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. I love running, and I'm hoping to share some tips with you today. I think one of the best ways to get started is by doing an interval running and walking program. So start out with something easy, build up that store of good running memories, because you don't want to be out there and just be miserable the whole time you're running. It's important to build up that stock of good running memories, because that's where you really find the joy in running. So I don't want you out there starting and working so hard that you just hate what you're doing and hate running. I want you to go out there and just really stick with the same program. Don't progress until you enjoy it. So typically when people start, I say start with a minute of running. Most people can do a minute of running. If you can't, start with 30 seconds, start with 15 seconds, start where you are with running. Then you walk the rest of the time until you make 5 minutes. So if you're starting with 1 minute of running, you walk for 4 minutes after that. And then you repeat it 6 times until you have a 30-minute block of running. I would say do that workout 4 times or until you really like it, you have fun. Don't move on until it's enjoyable. Next, I would move up to 2 minutes of running and 3 minutes of walking. That's actually quite a big difference from the 1 and 4. I did it myself, and I definitely in these first couple stages was like, wow, this is way harder. I didn't expect 3 minutes to be so much worse than 2 minutes, but eventually you get used to it, you get there, and you move on. But don't move on until you enjoy it. When you get started, you can't just run. That will cause injury from overuse. Running is a very straight line activity. We see it all the time in the office, that people are just running and then end up with injury. So what I would recommend to help prevent that injury is to add in some cross training, maybe some strength training. One of my favorites is yoga. Yoga is really great for runners because it is very good at helping with both flexibility and stability. With running, you have to be able to stand on one leg and repeatedly land on that one leg and have your body stay stable and be able to hold your pelvis in space. With yoga, you do a lot of single leg balancing type postures that help with the stability and then also counteract the tightness that runners get with the flexibility part of yoga. If you start to have pain that won't go away with rest and you do your rest ice compression elevation, it's not going away, that would be a good time to get evaluated by one of our sports medicine professionals. Once you have a good base built up, meaning you can run 30 minutes without having to take walk breaks, then I would recommend getting started with a race training program. The Franciscan Health Race Training Program has a coach that will check in with you weekly and answer questions if you need. If you would like to sign up for that program, and also for more tips or tricks, you can go to franciscanhealth.org/racetraining.